Been direct from the studios up here at Clear Channel, WGCI, man. It's your boy, the Destin legend, Leon Rogers. Right across from me, my man, Big Mad, who pushes the buttons and all the bells and whistles. It's time for Sports Unplugged. That's right, man. The video podcast where we talk about everything from pop culture to what's going on in each other's houses. Ain't nobody else say that, man. That's what we do. Like, we ask each other what's going on in each other's house because we know each other.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like on the last show, I was really upset because my daughter said she had saw a bull's penis.
Right.
It was the biggest ever, and I'm like,
Yep.
Here's the standard then, if that's the bull's is biggest. But anyway, I digress. Let's get right into it. Movies. The Batman series, as of late, has been probably one of the most dominant, well-written. The last two, you know, the ones that Christopher Nolan did, I think, were dope. The last one with Bane and Christian Bale was dope, and Christian Bale said that would be his last Batman. So he's not going to be in the Justice League of America movie. He's not going to be in the next Man of Steel movie with Batman. The new Batman is going to make a surprise appearance because, of course, Christopher Nolan is directing the next Man of Steel, too. By the way, Man of Steel.
No, he's producing. He's producing. Yeah.
Man of Steel, best superhero movie ever made. I'm saying it right now. Best.
Really?
Best.
Really?
What was better than that? What showed a superhero in the better light and the display of his powers than that movie right there? Because what
I still might go with Batman.
No way.
I mean, Batman doesn't have any superpowers, but I still go. I'll still go with what was it? Maybe the second one with the Joker. I'd probably still use that one.
The one with Heath Ledger.
Yeah.
That movie wasn't good. Heath Ledger was good. That movie sucked. That plot, everything, Two-Face, terrible. Heath Ledger made that movie enjoyable. His character.
Okay.
And that's why he won
an Oscar.
But when I'm saying it's for a complete movie to get the story.
So you were okay with the Lois Lane thing? How
she didn't? It wasn't and that's what I liked about it. In other Superman movies, they focused on how much Superman loved Lois Lane. How that was.
No, I don't mean that. I mean like more so of how Lois Lane figured who he was out and how she.
Yeah, because.
I didn't have a problem with it.
Let's be real. I didn't have a problem with it because let's be real. All the motherfucker do is take off glasses.
But hey, Lois,
he take off the damn glasses and nobody else still doesn't see this dude that's built like damn J.J. Watt walking around the office in a suit. Now all of a sudden a building's falling down. He's not around, and he comes back. With glasses, you see Superman. It wasn't like Superman hid his face.
Right.
You'd see him, and now, hey, you know what, dude? You kind of look like Superman if he wore glasses. It's just like in the movie Green Lantern when Ryan Reynolds stands down in front of her, and the lady looks at him and she goes, "Hal?" And I was like, that's funny because all he has is a damn mask over his eye. And it's you. That's like you come in here with your glasses off and a cape on. I'm like, no, that don't look like me.
No, I'm like, Lois has been stupid for years. So I thought, they kind of.
No, but I'm glad they had it where she was realistic. Like,
and in the
I know
times
your
today,
secret is safe with me. Now, to me, I can see why he would be more vulnerable if somebody gets a hold of Lois.
Right.
Before, he does a lot of it. I mean, get another one.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But now she knows everything about him. So somebody grabs her, they know about him. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I just love the way they didn't go through all his childhood years. They flashed back.
Right.
And dude who played Theseus in Immortals, perfect pick. Best Superman. Everybody's going to say Christopher Reeve because he's first. This dude is the best Superman ever. He looks the part. Look, I'm not gay by no means, right? But when dude came out of the water after saving the oil workers, I said, damn, my man is jacked. He looked like the Hulk after he changed and ripped up his clothes. I said, hey, man, they picked the good one. But back to Batman. There's going to be a new Batman.
Oh, my God. I saw this last night. I was like, what the hell?
Man, I cannot believe out of everybody you could have picked and chose from, there's so many people I'd rather see. Batman. You picked Ben Affleck. Ben Affleck performed in maybe the second worst superhero movie of our time.
What was the worst?
Elektra. Elektra was horrible.
Oh, his wife?
Yes, it was terrible.
Oh, okay.
It was terrible. And that was like a package deal. We're going to do this one. She's going to play Elektra in my movie.
Yeah.
And spin off.
Right.
And that movie sucked monkey balls.
I didn't even watch it.
The best thing in Daredevil was my man, rest in peace, Michael Clark Duncan playing Kingpin. That was it. That movie sucked ass. Ben Affleck sucked ass as Daredevil. I'm sorry. Now, other than that, I like Ben Affleck and Argo. You know, people were like, he's Academy Award winner. I say, well, he won for directing the movie.
He never acted. Here's the thing, Ben Affleck.
Good Will Hunting, great job.
No, Ben Affleck. You know, remember he was in Geely, and
stop it.
Hey,
the fact that you say that.
No. Here's the thing. Ben Affleck was a laughing stock. Like after he came in hot with Matt Damon and everything like that. Remember Matt Damon's star took off. And Ben Affleck was just kind of here. His movies are right kind of here. And then it took a dive. Daredevil, Geely, and he was dating
Jennifer Lopez.
And he was Benifer. Then he was just a laughing stock of Hollywood. And then recently he's come back. He's made a comeback recently.
And the only thing though, I will give him this. During that time, he did pull a gangsta ass move and put an ad in the paper. It was like J-Lo, come on, get some of this Boston cat. And J-Lo went. So Ben Affleck, props to you on that, man, because that took some balls. He put an ad in the paper, look, dig. Dude, the little dancing dude, he gay. You don't really want to be with him. Get some of this Boston cat. Now, don't get me wrong. The movie he did where the guys were robbing the banks.
Well, now I was going to say Good Town.
They was in Boston, him and my man who...
something Town, I forgot. The Town.
That movie was off the chain.
No, it was a great movie.
One of his better movies.
And it's saying the thing about him is that he plays his best roles when he is playing someone from Boston.
Right.
The dude, Argo was great.
Argo was great.
He was great in The Town. Like, he's been on a roll lately.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Here's another thing, though.
Here's the...
So you have now said he'll be your Batman, right?
This is the 0-2 pitch.
Right.
About to throw some junk to the plate.
Hey, man, he has a movie coming out with Justin Timberlake called, like, The Runner or something, coming out either at the end of this year or the beginning of next year. You better hope that's a good movie. You better pray that's a good movie. Because if that is a flop, you better rethink this whole Batman, him being Batman. Because it'll look like a joke if he doesn't get this.
And at first I was mad at Christian Bale. I said, Christian Bale, you selfish prick. But I kind of like what Christian Bale is doing. He's going out, Jordan, shooting a jump. Done. I can probably say I was the best Batman to ever do it. Why tarnish it? I don't even want to make... I'm not showing up in anybody else's movie as Batman. My character stood alone, which he did. He was the most menacing, most dark. He took Batman to another place. And probably the second best Batman after that was Michael Keaton. Then after that, Val Kilmer, all the rest
George
of them
Clooney,
sucked.
it was terrible.
They sucked. Was George Clooney the one with Iceman, with Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Yes.
That might be the worst.
That was
movie
terrible.
That was terrible.
That was terrible.
Poison Ivy done it. And
Jim
Carrey couldn't even say that movie as the Riddler. Tommy Lee Jones, Two-Face, terrible. So, here's my thing. Ben, I just don't see you as Batman. Period. I can't wrap my... If you'd have told me Christian Bale was playing Batman, I probably couldn't see that either. But he made me... I was like, yo, outside of the Batman costume, he looked like an asshole millionaire.
Right.
Because really, Bruce Wayne, Tony Stark's a parallel in the way they are outside of that.
Playboys.
Playboys, slick, talk crazy to females, broads, whatever. Bruce just probably a little bit more caring when it comes to orphan kids and stuff because his parents got.
Well, I mean, the thing about Bruce Wayne is Bruce is from when you read it, like he did play the Playboy.
Yeah.
He actually they were saying he drank ginger ale instead of champagne.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It was just a thing that he was putting on.
Yeah.
Tony Stark was the real deal asshole.
With a lot of paper.
With a lot of paper. He was the womanizing. Yeah, that was Tony Stark. Bruce Wayne actually put that persona on to really separate the two.
Of course.
But the thing is, can I be very honest with you though?
Go ahead, brother. That's
You know,
what I'm
if I had to pick a real life Bruce Wayne, it would be George Clooney. In my mind, just no. I mean, just in the persona of who he is. You know what I'm saying? But you know, we've seen that already, and it just doesn't work.
I would have to go with Robert Downey. Like he played.
You mean as Batman, or
I'm just saying. You said if you had to pick the real playboy,
right?
I will Robert Downey. Like that dude is just him or Jeremy Piven, but he's too little.
Right.
He doesn't have the stature.
Let me ask you this: who would you be?
Me? The guy that I wanted him to pick was the lead guy from Mad Men. You ever watch the TV show Mad Men?
Yeah.
He just hosted the
ESPYs.
That dude would have been perfect as Batman, yo.
I can see
Watch
that.
his character
No.
on Mad Men.
I can see it.
Off the chain.
I can see that. I can see that.
I'd have loved to see him.
I can see
Batman.
that. I can't remember who were some of the other guys they were looking at, and there was a couple other guys that were mentioned.
They mentioned my man Gerard Butler. No, I don't see that. They mentioned Gerard Butler. But I'm going. To me, the guy from Mad Men, like
that'd been dope.
He's just
that'd be dope. But see, remember, this Batman is supposed to be an older, rugged, been through the battles.
Yeah,
no. The Mad Men, I can go with you on that, but I just can't see. I can't.
And my thing is this:
I'd have a hard time.
The fanboys have already started a petition to get him out of there. Have you seen that?
Of course they are.
They got the online petition to stop Ben Affleck from being Batman. And my thing is this. Give another person a shot. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Like you gave Henry, because I didn't know who the heck Henry Cavill was.
But when they said it, I was like, yo, that's Theseus from Immortals. I said, he going to have to jack up a little bit because he wasn't that big. But then when they showed that he was training with The Rock and doing Rock's 5,000 calories a day diet that Rock did to get big for pain and gain, I was like, oh, snap. Like, then when I seen it, I was like, yo, Henry Cavill gonna look dope. Then when I saw the film, saw how it was shot, saw how they showed him struggling to learn his powers, but then flying and breaking the sound barrier, like, man, I got pumped, G. Like, it was dope.
No, it was, and then I like the fact that they did it differently. They didn't bring in the kryptonite. Lex Luthor wasn't in there. They did it a little differently, which I thought was good.
But Lex is gonna be in the next one. You see the Lex Corp.
Yeah, you see the Lex Corp stuff, and you saw the Wayne the Wayne stuff in there too. So,
and this is why I say that Superman to me has been the best because it kind of tied everything in and made it realistic. Like the whole thing, the kryptonite thing, that was a bunch of BS. It was just that his body had to get used to the new atmosphere.
Right.
So even after a period of time, once he started breathing the Kryptonian air, he would get used to it. His body would adjust, and then he'd kick ass. But he drew all his power from the sun.
Right.
So when he fell to earth, remember what his mother said? She said, you coughed the first 6 months you were with us. You coughed, tossed, and turned all night. We thought you had asthma. But then all of a sudden it stopped because his lungs and stuff got used to the earth atmosphere. I love them twists like that, man. I love that.
Right.
You know, so, but I don't know, man. I'm sorry. Usually I'm not this judgmental, but I think Ben Affleck is going to suck as a new Batman. I hope he proves me wrong.
I hope he proves everybody wrong, man.
Then again, Christopher Nolan has a way. Him, Michael Bay, they kind of.
And Zack Snyder is the producer. I mean, the director of this movie.
They have a way of kind of saving guys who can't really act. Because I'm going to tell you this, and you're going to get mad at me. To me, Shia LaBeouf cannot act. But he got saved. The Transformers were good movies because he's the same guy in every movie.
Right.
It's kind of like Vince Vaughn. Love Vince Vaughn, same guy in every movie.
Right.
Same guy.
Yeah.
I mean, what are we talking about?
Right. He does the same thing. Yeah.
We're talking about beer on pizza. Or we're talking about beer on tits. If we're talking about beer on tits, I mean, I want to eat that. Sign me up for that. I mean, I don't know about you, but I want to eat that.
Right. Yeah. I mean, he talks. He's a talker. Slick talker. Slick talker.
Same guy. But I really hope they're not making a mistake. I think they picked it too early. I think they should have just.
They had time. I don't even have a script out. You have time. I said, let's wait until this Ben Affleck and Justin Timberlake movie come out and see if he's gone back to a laughing stock. That's what I'd have waited on. I'm not.
Like if Justin outshines him in the
movie. But it is a risky pick.
It is.
I'm like, who did, like, you know, like,
and I tell you what,
watching Entourage has made me think, you know, there's always a whole bunch of backhanded stuff.
I tell you what else,
behind the scenes stuff going on. What's going on?
I think I'm going to hate too. I think I'm going to hate the next Captain America movie.
I haven't seen anything about that.
I found out my favorite actor is going to be playing the Falcon. Who do I tell you? I can't watch movies with him in it because it just spoils it for me every time. And it's a brother, too, and I hate that it's a brother.
Not Anthony Mackie.
Yes. I can't. Just, I don't know what it is, but every movie that I watch with him, I'll be like, wow, wow, wow. You know what I think it started with? This movie called Crossover.
The Crossover, that was the worst movie of all time,
and
man.
I think that stuck with me.
I was like, did you really? Didn't you read the script? Did you see that hot sauce was actually in this movie? Wayne Brady and hot sauce in this movie. What are you thinking?
Wayne couldn't save it. Like, Wayne Brady character was actually believable, but then it was the fact.
Like a death duel in basketball.
And he was the only person with a gun. Then the one good actor, the kid that plays Sweetness and Roll Bounce, he breaks his back riding a motorcycle. And it's just like, oh, Anthony Mackie is killing this movie. Now, I'll give him credit. Hurt Locker,
yeah,
great.
He's been in some good movies, though.
He was decent in Pain and Gain. The best movie I ever saw him in, and this is the one I give to him all the time, She Hate Me.
That's the one with the
lesbians. He was boning all the lesbians. That was a great movie for him.
I didn't even know about that until all of a sudden it came on HBO, and I saw Kerry Washington kissing
I saw the
chick.
crossover, and I said, wow, that just started his streak of bullshit with me. Then I saw Notorious, and they had him play Pac, and I was like, oh, no. No! He's not Pac! He's like so over the top with the Pac. It's like, that's not Pac. Then he did this movie with Matt Damon, The Adjustment Bureau.
Yeah.
Terrible. Sucked. Matt Damon done threw some bricks up there, too. The Adjustment Bureau was terrible. But then Matt Damon said, well, I'll go off and do the Bourne series, and I'll give my credibility.
Right.
But Anthony Mackie, man.
Shoot, he did Elysium, which didn't do well.
I knew that. When I saw that trailer, I was like,
uh-oh.
Yeah.
I'm a pass on
Jodie Foster's present. So I wish him the best.
Here's the thing.
Not hating on
no, here's the thing. Here's the thing. It really doesn't matter.
No.
Guess what?
That box
We're all gonna go see it.
Oh yeah.
Because we all want to see. Oh God, the trailers better be good.
Oh, screener. And that's gonna tell me a lot. If I see the trailer and Ben come off badass, I might be like, okay.
I can tell you a thing about Superman. The first few trailers, I was pissed off. I'm like, what the? Him flying, that was nice.
Bust a nut.
Him flying
when he was.
Right. No, that was cute. But the whole talking about, son, you gotta learn. I didn't care about all that. I didn't care about all that.
Oh,
now,
when his daddy was a G,
yeah.
And in the movie, I was like, his daddy died like a G because he was about to go save his father.
Mm-hmm. I'm like, no. I'm sorry.
I'm going to get my dad.
But screw that.
His father said, and everybody going.
Hold on. If I'm his father.
Come on, nigga. He went back to say the damn dog. Show y'all dogs, do you? He go back to say the damn dog.
The dog ran off.
Dog, leave him. Ankle broke. Mother ass dog. If I'd have lived, I'd have shot that damn dog.
But like I said, the second trailer I saw where he was punching employee while he was flying, I'm like, there it is.
And all the people that said they didn't like that because it was too much destruction, what do you think happen if two godlike people start throwing each other around in the sky? Buildings are gonna fall.
If you saw when
they tore up the Hyatt right next to Hyatt.
Yeah, but I mean, in the original in Superman 2 when he fought Zod, they tore things up.
Yeah, but also though they tore things up, but then also the CG and stuff wasn't good.
Oh well, yeah,
when somebody went through a building, Superman could catch the whole side of one building and put it back together in one complete piece. Like no. It's gonna crumble.
Right. So I mean,
they threw a human from another planet.
They tried. Now, let's move on. Ben Affleck.
Right. Good luck, Ben.
Let's move on to something that I saw this morning
Dark Knight
that I didn't realize was going on. Somebody told me about it. Mm-hmm. Toni Braxton.
Woo! And she still look good.
She looks amazing. I always,
Shout out to Toni Braxton.
I always said the one thing I hated Michael Jordan for was not going and hitting that.
That she wasn't,
Cause
light enough.
Because Toni Braxton said, "Man, she wanted Michael Jordan so bad." I'm like, Mike, she threw it at you, dog.
Wasn't light enough.
So Toni Braxton has a show.
Like salsa.
So yeah, obviously. Hold on, you see, Mike has a type. You see, Toni Braxton had a show, and she had a wardrobe malfunction.
Toni Braxton likes to wear dresses that are cut out, the back cut out like toga style dresses that are held up by a piece of chain. The chain disconnected, broke, and went long, but she had on a nude bodysuit.
Her ass was out.
I know, but she had on a nude.
No. The ass was not covered. The ass was out.
No, it was a thong style, but it was a nude bodysuit.
The ass was out.
And a big screw you to the dude that wanted to be a gentleman and put his sport coat on her.
No, big shout out to all the guys that was dancing with her before with her ass out.
And didn't saying nothing.
The white guy. Yeah. Oh, that creep.
This is how they do it at the beginning of the button.
And then, hold on. And then her sister's doing backup singing, just standing there.
Maybe she planned it.
I'm like, do you
think sometimes, though, these artists do this because it generates? Will we be talking about Toni Braxton?
Oh, no, we wouldn't, but, her ass looked amazing.
Yeah, to be like close to 50.
Yeah, looked amazing. Amazing.
I just like, sometimes I want to do these wardrobe malfunctions happen on purpose.
Toni Braxton, I really think that happened on accident. I think that was an accident because she looked completely lost up there.
No, though. It's hard to say. We wouldn't be talking about that.
She said,
and that's something I get. And if they put it in the reality show, then that's when I start be like,
yeah, you're right about that.
That's my thing. Like if you put it in the reality show, like if you edit that part out and just make it look like you had a concert, and then only the people that was there knew about it. Okay, fine, that was an accident. But if it's like, this is a reason for you to watch the show. In case you missed it, Toni Braxton ass out. 7 on True TV.
Yeah.
Or like the whole Janet Jackson, Justin Timberlake thing. Like to this day, I believe it was supposed to go one way, but it went another way. And Janet, did the whole cover, but
look here, man.
At the same time, Justice said, "Okay, it fucked up. I didn't know that was."
Here's the thing with that thing,
blew
man.
up.
I still don't understand that. That was the beginning of the DVR. Like people just started getting DVRs in home because I swear when I saw it in real fast time, I was like, wait, what just happened? Well, it happened too fast for y'all to really freak out. Oh my God, my child. No, unless you went back, and slowed it down,
the
paused, and zoomed.
The father did.
You didn't know what the hell happened.
The father did. Let me see what happened. Yeah, that's what I did.
Then you go on the internet and everybody had it zoomed in and digitally enhanced.
And she had tape across her nipple.
I was like, I was like, we suing her for what?
I don't know. Like, I just think some of these things are a little like, okay, really?
Right.
It's just like K. Michelle says she's got, she's going to put R. Kelly on blast if he doesn't apologize to her. You hear about that?
Didn't he say that he slept with her or something like that?
Well, see, he never said. This is what he said in the exact interview. He goes, they was like, well, what is your thing with K. Michelle? He's like, oh, we've had a few sessions. He said involving some drinks, you know what I'm saying? And one drink led to another. And next thing you know, I wake up the next morning and they tell me I had a good time. Now, one could run with that and assume that he's saying that he boned. Or one could assume that he got drunk, passed out, went to sleep. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I don't understand the whole drama of it because, and then K. Michelle just had an album drop. She's on a reality TV show.
That helps.
She's about to spin off and get her own show.
Really?
She's leaving Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, and she's going to do her own thing in New York. She's going to have her own show next year. So, wow.
Makes sense.
What perfect way to start the show off than beef with R. Kelly, one of the biggest R&B singers in the country. So I mean, I just don't understand. I don't understand it. You know, I don't understand it. But I'm just saying, like, if he did hit her, God bless him. You know, I ain't mad at him.
No, I wouldn't be either.
Out the bed,
I saw K. Michelle recently, and yeah.
So
I understand.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't.
You're not holding it against him?
I know, not at all. If he did do that, if he gave her a hit, then gave her a hit. But what do you think about that? Do you think some of these artists are that?
Oh, I mean, yeah, of course. I think a lot of these artists I
think Justin Bieber is just being an idiot now. I don't really think he's seeking attention. I think he's just doing dumb shit.
He's just a young kid.
Young dude, right.
You know what the thing is about Justin? I think he just thinks he's doing stuff to be cool. He thinks it's cool.
Exactly. He thinks he's swagged out.
He thinks he's supposed to be doing this thing. He thinks that he's a young millionaire. I'm supposed to be doing this. I'm supposed to be acting this way.
YMCA and be like, hey man, let's call Justin. He'll get it. He'll take us to France. We just tell him, hey man, this dude over there got this new Hennessy they want us to try, man. But we was gonna charter a plane, but they was like it was gonna take whatever. But we know you got the G5, man.
Right.
Get over there. I mean, we got money on the gas and stuff. And then just no problem, guys. We can take my jet for acceptance.
You think? Yeah, you really think he's still doing that? Why? Hey, Weezy wanted me to be on. You know what I'm saying? So he wanted to use a jet, so I can let him use a jet.
Yeah.
But God loves me.
Oh.
When I saw him accept that
Oh,
award,
my God.
I'm let you know I work hard and God loves me. I was like, what the hell are we talking about?
We going to I got that power. Boom, boom, boom,
Right.
boom, 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 boom.
So moving right along.
Yeah.
Now I was listening to the BS report. Bill Simmons. He was talking to his.
How does he still work for ESPN? And not to get off subject.
Oh, you mean the Dread comment?
Yeah, that was some bullshit, dog. Like, come on, man. Let that comment have been about a gay person. Let that comment have
Hold on,
been
let me bring up our boy Brian Crawford real quick.
What up, big homie?
Oh, you need headphones, don't you?
Oh, see, now when I asked you that,
I didn't think we'd be talking to Brian.
I know way to bring him up with.
Nah. You need to grab some headphones.
It's all good. When you talk to him, I'm gonna go grab some headphones,
Okay.
which I asked him did I need earlier. He said no.
Okay, so Leon will be right back with some headphones on, but I'm gonna talk to Brian, who on the phone right now. Brian. Hello, Brian. Brian just hung up. Yeah, well, this just took a turn for the worse. Yeah. So we were talking about Bill Simmons and Dreads, and I'm about to call. Yeah, this just went straight to all. We don't know what the heck just happened. Hold on one second, everybody. We're gonna call Brian right now. Yeah. Let's see what happens. Leon seems to think that Bill Simmons probably should be fired for his comments about. Hold on, Brian. Brian, can you hear me, Brian? Brian, can you hear me?
Yep.
You can hear me now?
I can hear you.
There we go. So before we got disconnected, and Leon said he'll be right back because he needs headphones to hear you because he can't hear you without headphones. He was saying that he thinks that he's wondering why Bill Simmons still got a job. You know about the whole stinky dread thing.
Yeah.
Are you under the same conclusion that you think he should be suspended or fired for these comments?
Man, that's really tough. I mean, I think at the very least, he should at least be, suspended. I don't want to see people like, lose their job. Even though, Hugh Douglas, his job,
Ooh, Brian, you breaking up, bro.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah, but at the very least, Simmons should at least, something should happen to him for those comments. But I mean, we know that Bill Simmons kind of says things that's off the wall anyway.
Right.
So, but Nah, I mean, I don't think he should lose his job over it, but, some sort of disciplinary action should be handed down. Like I said, when, you fired, Hugh Douglas for the incident with Michael Smith.
Oh, Hugh Douglas. Forgot about that.
Hey, man, Hugh Douglas was off that oil, baby. That's what happened. Shout out to Hugh Douglas for keeping the party going.
Right.
He did that, man, and he was like that dude that stand on the couch at the company Christmas party and come back on Monday and he fired. You know what I'm saying?
Look, everybody was listening to Fresh Prince at that event. Hugh Douglas had the video from smoking on gin and juice going in his mouth. And he was turned up.
He called Michael Smith all out his name.
Man, I'm talking about he was one of the dudes with the 40 that sprayed the chick at the end. That was Hugh Douglas. That's what he was.
Yeah,
Hugh
in front of everybody.
Yeah.
All right, so basically what Brian was saying, he think that Bill Simmons should have been like maybe suspended but not fired.
Who?
Bill Simmons. Personally,
But this is not the first. See, here's the problem, and BC will probably respect this statement because I know where his head's at and I know where it comes from. BC is from the block. You understand? One of the roughest parts in Chicago. But he also has been to college. He also is a family man. He also understands credibility and responsibility. The problem I've always had with bloggers, they're not held responsible for anything they say. They can say something and say, oh, my bad, and that's it. As a writer, and BC, I don't know if you agree with this or not, when you put something out there and you write for a publication, you write for Slam, you write for ESPN the magazine, you write for Sports Illustrated, if you're wrong, if your facts are wrong, or what you said is wrong, the next issue you have to come and put a retraction or whatever in the next issue. That makes you look bad as a writer. Bloggers can get away with that. Bill Simmons is a blogger, correct? That's how he got to where he is. Now, some of the stuff he said on the basketball show that he does with guys, some of the jokes is just like straight corny and straight. And I like reading Grantland and a lot of stuff. But some of the stuff he says, I'm like, dude, how do you survive? But I still feel like ESPN carries this, oh, he's a blogger mentality. They don't hold him responsible like they would a Hugh Douglas for saying something crazy on air. Like they would, or I remember when my man SVP,
Scott Van
Pelt got suspended for saying he put his pen pan down.
Right.
Because it's Disney. You know what I'm saying? Like, so where's the disconnect? Where do you draw the line? Because I just felt first of all, I felt the dreadlock comment was super disrespectful. And, like, I'm glad my man answered him back in the way he did.
I think also what helped Bill Simmons was that Jalen Rose was there. Jalen Rose kind of...
That's another thing. It's like Mancow downstairs. He always has a black comic on his show. So he can say something about black people, and as long as the brother don't get mad on the show, it must be okay.
Right.
I mean, if you look at it from the ESPN perspective, from at least the print side, the online print side, Bill Simmons is kind of like, Skip Bayless. And I say that just in a general sense, or a very simple sense that, Bill Simmons makes them money. You know what I'm saying? So, he could get away with certain things that that Scott Van Pelt can't get away with because, ain't nobody checking for ESPN or checking ESPN to see Scott Van Pelt. But,
Scott Van Pelt is very funny, by the way.
I mean, the reason why, Skip Bayless is, is who he is, and that show is what it is because of the comments that he makes, and, he gets people riled up and people tune in just to get mad at him. Same thing with Bill Simmons. People read his work. People, respect it. If you got time to read 15,000 words, cool. But, people want to, hear what Bill Simmons got to say, and they comment on it. So, ESPN and Disney, is not going to cut their nose off to spite their face. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they just going to, let this sweep under the rug. But it's always your lower level people that's just their employees, essentially, when they say something out of pocket, they get disciplined.
Well, you know what?
Nothing going to happen. Nothing gonna happen to Bill Simmons.
I felt like it was one of those moments where a white guy says something that he thinks is funny about a black person that just fell flat. You know what I'm saying? And
I felt
but
like,
he does that all the time.
And that's my point. And see, there it is.
The race card is in play.
And that's my thing, BC. That's my thing. Like Bill Simmons, and excuse my French, America, when they said that shit if he was standing in the room with a bunch of cats that didn't work for ESPN. Like if he was in a barbershop on 87th and Stony, he wouldn't have made that comment. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like if you can't, that's why I've always respected certain comedians. They don't change their act up no matter what audience they're performing in front of. That means that's their truth, that's their word. They're not skewing it to make you feel comfortable.
Right.
They're going to say it. That's why I've never had a problem with Andrew Dice Clay, never had a problem with Sam Kinison, guys like that who didn't switch their script up. You're either going to laugh at what I'm saying or you're going to hate me. Howard Stern, the same way. You're either going to like me or you're going to hate me.
Right.
There's no gray area with me. And even if you hate me, you're going to tune in and say, what is this jerk going to talk about next?
Yep.
So,
Exactly.
yeah, so I just, with Bill, it's like, and sometimes I really do like his insight because I feel he comes from the regular Joe perspective.
Right.
I get that. But then sometimes he'll just say something and I'm like, oh.
Look here, Bill Simmons on TV is something to.
It's tough.
It's tough. It's very tough.
That whole setup is tough.
Man, I was just, it's funny, y'all. We talking about this because I was just watching the game last night. We played the game last night when Steph Curry dropped 54 in New York, and Bill Simmons and Jalen Rose was on there talking. And Bill Simmons was like, this was around the trade deadline. Bill Simmons said that the Knicks should trade Iman Shumpert for J.J. Redick, and his reasoning was that sometimes teams. They gamble too much on talent, and you wait around, for a guy to become an all-star, and he never becomes that.
I agree.
So,
go ahead.
Let's not, let's go ahead and, cash in on Iman Shumpert for Jalen Rose. I mean,
J.J. Redick.
For J.J. Redick. And I'm like, J.J. Redick ain't no all-star.
Right.
You make one point and say something else that contradicts that.
No, I totally understand because I always said the same thing. Like cash in with Iman when people probably want him, but you have to get the right thing back.
Exactly. And J.J. Redick
is not even though. Hey, explain this to me. Why was J.J. Redick just so hot this summer? Like people were like,
because he made his old lady sign an abortion prenup, dog. That is the pimpest raw dog. I'm real. I'm here. Hey, man, none of these dudes talk about how much of a player they are. This dude,
that was classic.
I missed this one. What happened?
Let me tell you, and I want to put a disclaimer out here for any ladies that watch this podcast or listen to this. We in no way, shape, here, form, Sports Unplugged believe you should force anybody to do anything.
Right.
But if you can get a woman to sign a prenup agreement saying that if I get pregnant by you and we decide that, we don't want to be together, I'm going to go get this done, and all you got to give me is $25,000. And we can you either have the option to continue the relationship, or if not, I'm gonna hit you with the $25,000 and take your little shopping and stuff, and then we done.
And keep in mind that two lawyers looked at this contract. They was present when these people signed off.
Boss. That's
okay. My thing is this.
That's white boy pimping at his
what kind of mindset are you in to actually write something up like that?
Hey man, that's that Duke education.
Listen.
Who? Well,
I know AI like, damn, I should have had it.
Oh, Brian, you I'm losing you, Brian.
Can you hear me?
There you are.
Allen Iverson out here like, man, I'm kicking indoors, fighting.
I'm just trying to stay alive until 2025 so I can get this money from.
Man, black
25?
That type of deal.
No way.
What year is that?
Even Jordan prenup with his old lady. Like, listen, we married, cool. Every year we stay married after, first I'm hitting you $5 million in your bank account, your own bank account.
Right.
All right. Now everything after 10 years, I think it is.
No, it's $1 million every year for the first 5
years. And then everything
then
after
$5 million for every year after that.
So she stick around for 10 years and walk up out of there about 20-something large. I can't do this.
Million.
I can't do this no more, Mike. And he said, regardless if we have a child or anything, that's your bread. You don't get nothing else from the empire. And you already cashed somebody out $150 million. Man, what are we doing? What am I in here doing? What am I doing? I can't get my wife to pledge to cook steaks every Wednesday. And these cats getting abortions. Meanwhile, Royce White is just sending women money because they said they was pregnant. I got a good idea to tweet him and be like, "You slept with me." Wait!
I
You didn't hear about that?
What happened?
Royce White from the Houston, the guy that won't get on the plane.
Right.
Yeah.
Some chick he was dealing with told him, "I'm pregnant. What's up?" He was like, "Man, we gotta get rid of that." She was like, "Well, all right, it's gonna take like $5,000." Anyway, some goofy ass amount of money.
Right.
He sends it to her.
And he's too afraid to fly, so he's not gonna go check on her.
And he sends it to her, and she said, "Yeah, I got it done." Meanwhile, she said she went and bought some Louboutins and purses with the money, and she'll be having this baby in the next couple of months.
Oh.
Meanwhile, JJ Redick dropped 25 and cool.
Right.
You can't be that dumb, dog. Come on,
man.
Hey, he doesn't like to travel, man.
They out here, man.
Now the reason we have Brian Crawford on the phone
Is to talk about shit like this, because it needs to be addressed. These dudes out here dumb. They tricking on these. World Star Hip Hop. Shout out to Q, first of all, for changing females' lives. Because World Star Hip Hop eye candies and the models of the week are getting looked at by NBA players and football players all around. When you see a chick with 1,000 tattoos on sitting front row in the ESPYs, that's a World Star Hip Hop model.
Right.
And James Harden then flew her in for $25,000.
Ain't that amazing?
Ah, man, what am I doing? What are we doing?
Everybody looks at World Star Hip Hop, so you know that these athletes are like, "Ooh, I like that. Let me get one of those." They're literally looking at
my agent.
They're literally looking at World Star Hip Hop like a catalog.
I have my agent call World Star Hip Hop, get me in contact with her. Hey, what are you doing? I got a game. I'll be in Miami. I'm gonna fly you down there.
Wait, and ain't Juicy J giving away like a scholarship or something?
He rescinded it. He rescinded it because everybody was hating on him. And I want to say shame on you, America, because your daughter's out there twerking and doing a lot of other stuff
for free.
Left for free. But if she can go
and twerk for a scholarship,
if she can go to Grambling for 4 years and get her degree, twerk some.
Drop it.
Y'all out here twerking for bottles of Ciroc.
The race card is in play.
Juicy J trying to change the game, man. Educate some of you. Don't get all hot. We had so many.
Right, and look, and when you're all right with Miley Cyrus twerking, that's cool, though.
We did that as a topic this morning on the morning show, and people was texting in like, "Oh, not my baby," and this, blah, blah, blah. What are we teaching? I said,
hold on.
I said,
hold on, wait. On what stage? Hold on, no. Stop right now. GCI? On GCI? GCI, they 4-year-olds twerking. What are they talking about?
This is the point I made, and I said this on the air. I said, for everybody, all these females that's in here talking about no, what they wouldn't do and all this, I said, I better not ever catch you in the club with your hands on your knees when your favorite song comes.
Yep.
Because you're gyrating and twerking.
For free.
That's different. That's in the club, and how much knowledge you getting out of it.
Right.
I said, listen, man, I would hope my daughters just ain't out there twerking for nothing. But if Juicy J gave her $50,000, and she said, Daddy, I'm going to DePaul. I know $50,000 ain't going to cover all of it, but it's damn sure going to take care of the first 2 years at least.
A chunk.
We could work on the second 2 if you're going to be a lawyer.
Now, going back to Bill Simmons, he had Jason Whitlock on the BS report. Yeah. I listened to this podcast about an hour long. Jason Whitlock left Fox Sports, and is going back to ESPN. And
after he left them tumultuously,
that was kind of ugly. I was kind of surprised that he's going back to ESPN, but he's going back to ESPN.
That's kind of a boss move, though.
No, he's going back to ESPN, and he actually said that just 2 mature parties able to kind of squash any kind of beef that they had before.
He grew up a little bit,
and they both. I guess they both did. Well, here's the thing. From what he was saying, it seems like he's going to be able to get his own black Grantland. So what Bill Simmons does, they're going to give that opportunity to Jason Whitlock to kind of cultivate young black sports journalists. Bill Simmons asked the question, where are the young black sports journalists? Jason Whitlock says basically that young black men are not interested in writing about sports. If they're not an athlete, not a rapper, they're not really interested in it, and also they don't want to take the time to go to the small markets or to not make money right away to become a journalist. Brian Crawford, you are a young black journalist.
Exactly.
Talk to me on what you think about the situation when it comes first to Jason Whitlock's Black Grantland, and then second of all, why do you think there's not many of y'all out there?
Well, I mean, first of all, to the Black Grantland thing, I mean, if keeping it real, if you really want to be honest, I felt like if anybody should have been, given the nod for that task like that, it should have been Scoop Jackson. Scoop is the dude that mentors directly and indirectly a lot of black writers that are out here talking about sports and things like that. So, if anybody could usher that in, I felt like, it should have been Scoop to do that. But, that was his call too. But, as far as the writing aspect of it and why there's not a lot of black writers out there, I mean, if you ask me, to Whitlock's point, I don't think it has anything to do with sports. I feel like first and foremost, in order to be a writer, you have to be a reader. When I was in high school coming up or whatever like that, I read newspaper every single day. And I found 35 Cent and got the Sun-Times and read it from cover to cover. Started with the sports section, made my way to the front. I read every single day for years and years and years, and so that's how I, got into writing, and that's how I kind of found a passion for putting words together and telling stories and things like that. Kids nowadays, I don't know if they read as much, to be honest. I think,
they don't.
Kids these days are more
video,
visually stimulated. I mean, you can see it evidenced in, the Twitter posts and the Facebook posts. I mean, grammar is kind of like a dead thing, man. Like, ain't nobody, writing spell no more, especially not these kids. And, they just not into it. So I feel like, the less people read, the less there's a desire there for to write. And I think that's pretty much the big problem is, I mean, as far as like, people not wanting to go to small markets and things like that, just generally speaking, to media and journalism is very, very, very hard to get into, not just for black people, but white people. There's a lot of kids graduating journalism schools and can't find a job, and they're doing other things like public relations and stuff like that. So it's really, really hard to get into.
Well, BC, let me ask you a question, not to cut you off for a minute, but let me ask you a question. When we say young black writers, what are we talking about age-wise? Because personally, I don't think somebody who's fresh out of college, maybe 22 to that 25,
they can write.
Hasn't had that seasoning yet. They haven't had that, that they haven't had that locker room experience sitting back. They're writing on the college level. They're writing for college people. But when you start talking about you putting yourself out to a broader audience, how much seasoning do you need? Because, and what are we saying is young? Are we saying somebody under 40? Are we saying somebody in that 30 to 35 range?
30 to 35.
30 to 35 range? But when do you start getting old? When do you start getting
you've
old?
Been in the game, you've been in the locker room.
Of course.
You've seen, the people that's around it, not just black faces, but just, faces in
Period.
general.
Right.
It ain't no kids in there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody that's writing, at least that I know, is like
paying the mortgage.
What? They at least 25 to 20, and I think that's kind of like the baseline where the writers start at. So between that graduate, you graduate college at what, 22? So in those 3 years, you get your season, and I guess you would write for little local things and local papers and stuff like that. I think the other thing is that when you first starting out, man, it's not a whole lot of money in the game. You know what I'm saying? You're coming out of college, and a lot of people can't afford to write for free.
Right.
When you first starting out, man, if you don't get picked up by a major publication or outlet like straight out the gate, man, you're doing a lot of work for free. You trying to get your name out there. You promoting yourself any way that you can. And, a lot of people just can't afford to do that. And that's why I said some people turn away from writing. People that have journalism degrees, they turn away from writing to things that makes them money. You know what I'm saying? So it's really hard. And I think, Whitlock is, I don't know what he's looking for. Like you said, Leon, what defines young? Are you talking about somebody in their 30s with, that's already got, some type of established voice? Or you talking about somebody that we never heard of that's just like this amazing writer?
Right, because Grantland actually grabs some folks that, that have experience,
Right.
Yeah.
They got
their whole roster is like people that I've seen columns from before.
Yahoo, stuff like that. BC, talk to me about this. because Bill Simmons did bring it up. He's like, well, do you really have to go to a small market? Now, if you put out a hot blog post and you voice your opinion, all of a sudden you're the next hot writer. And even though you're a blogger, and personally, I always say bloggers and writers are two totally different things. I blog. I'm not a writer. You know what I'm saying? I like when I told like.
But let me ask you a question, man, and BC, you can chime in on this too. What technically is the difference? Because to me, personally, to me, sports is opinion.
Right.
Bottom line.
Yeah.
You're going to have some people that believe this. You're going to have some people that believe this. And,
right.
and we have the conversation. I don't know, BC, you can chime in on this. I always say, if you state something that's your opinion, it can't be argued, really. It can't be debated because that's your opinion. But once you say, this is, in my opinion, this person is the greatest basketball player ever because of blah, 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 and blah, now you're backing it with facts. Now it can be debated. Right. Therefore, that doesn't make an opinion anymore. That makes it a statement that you're putting out there trying to back with facts. So what is the difference? What is the fine line?
Before BC answers, let me put it to you like this. The reason why I always say I'm not a writer, I'm a blogger, is because I write the way I talk.
And I do too.
I write the way I talk.
I do.
That's not the way to write.
Exactly.
And I've taken journalism courses when I was in college.
I have.
And I know. Right. No, I'm just saying. I know the proper way. I remember the proper way to put together a column. Right. How to write. How to come out of it. How to set it up. The meat of it. I understand all that. I don't do any of that stuff. No. I literally write like I talk.
Like how we're talking right now.
That's how I would write. And the thing is, I've given BC something that I've written, and I literally asked him, how bad is it? You know what I'm saying? And BC actually, I think he spared my feelings by saying, "Nah, man, it's cool, it's cool." I'm like, "Nah, man, it's cool" means, "Nah, nigga."
Now look, Scoop told me one day, I sent him something that I did. I said, "Man, I'm gonna post this on my GC. I just wanted to see your thoughts on it." He was like, "Very informative," and that was it. So I called him. I said, "What the hell you mean by very informative?" He said, "Dog, your information was crazy." He said, "But I felt like you were just talking to me. Like you write how you talk." And that's the first thing he said. And I said, "Well, I do." And that's why I get so mad. Like we have these debate rooms and Facebook and stuff, and then you get the damn grammar Nazis that they like, well, no, I'm like, motherfucker, we talking sports. I ain't got time for all your English paraphernalia.
That's why I sent it to Brian, because I wanted him to look at it and just to see. But I wouldn't disrespect what guys like Brian do.
No.
By saying I'm a writer. I'm not a writer, I'm a blogger. So going off of what I said, Brian, what do you think the difference is between a blogger and a writer?
I mean, fundamentally you're correct. I mean, a lot of people, they write how they talk. You see that, when people, missing punctuations and spellings and, stuff like that. And, and you get that, and some bloggers do that, and then you have other bloggers who kind of know how to write a little bit. I just really think it's just, just kind of how you master the English language, or how you just choose to write. I mean, if you somebody that just want to get your thoughts out there and that's it, and share it with your friends and family, cool. You can you can blog like that. But if you somebody, a blogger, specifically speaking of, you're a blogger and you want people to notice your work, then you might want to clean it up a bit. So it's just really all depending on who you're talking to and what the end game is.
I can tell you this right now. Hold on, Brian. I can tell you this right now, Leon. From what Brian said about. You might have let it slide by. You probably didn't notice what Brian said. He's like, well, if you like reading 1,000, 5,000 words,
I heard that.
I was like, I'm like, that's every writer. That's what they say about Bill Simmons. That he's like a rambler and things like that. So that's the kind of stuff you're talking about, Brian.
I mean, I don't have the attention span to read Bill Simmons. To be honest with you, but I don't. It's just too much, dog. Like I'll read Bill Simmons and then I have to stop and like, damn, I've been reading for 15 minutes. I'm in the middle of it.
Listen, man, we in the hip hop industry call that a subliminal. You gotta learn how to decipher lyrics.
I was sitting there, I'm like,
I heard that subliminal, dog.
Yeah.
Now see, if I was a rapper, if Bill was a rapper, he'd come back and DC with a subliminal. Like he'll put something in his verse.
I think Bill Simmons blocked me on Twitter, man. I think he answered my subliminal.
He figured it out.
He'd put something in his verse, like something, I don't give a damn. Writers get slammed before Christ. He came at BC. But I really back on a serious tip because
young black sports writers,
like. And sports writers, period. Let's just take the color off of it because I really don't think you're ready to write about sports on a major level at coming out of college, maybe till you about 25, 26, because there's so much behind you. There's a history behind you. Like I watch sometimes, even when we have a interesting a chat room called the Locker Room that we kick it in on Facebook, and some of the guys talk, and you see the diverse ages. You can tell just by when we talk about certain subjects who's over 40 or who's close to 40, who's in that 35 to 40-year-old range, and you can tell who's not a day over 25 or 26 or under 30. Like if we're talking CPS basketball, you'll see these guys who probably lived in the suburbs.
Chicago Public Schools.
Yeah, CPS basketball, Chicago Public Schools. You'll see guys who probably like close to 30 but lived out in the suburbs, and they'll be mentioning the Eric Herrings of the world, the Ty Streets of the world. But then you'll see guys like me and another couple of guys who've lived on both sides. We're saying Michael Herman. We're saying Jamie Brandon. We're saying, Tom Best. We're saying guys that from our era, but yet we've been around long enough to see the Eric Herrings too. And I feel you have to have that span. You have to be able to go back and get that information. You have to be old enough and wise enough to say, hey, I'm going to go back. Like BC, I'm pretty sure if somebody tells you about somebody, as a writer, you go back and fact check. And I don't think, and I told you that's the problem.
That's another thing with bloggers. They don't fact check.
Yeah, they don't fact check.
They want to be the first to get it up, no matter if it's right or if it's wrong. And then if it's wrong, they say, oh, my bad, snatch it down and it's done. But as that writer, you have to wear that embarrassment that I put misinformation out there.
Right.
Yeah, but we live in a social media age, man, where everything is,
Quick.
for attention. Whoever can whoever can get the most attention at that particular moment. You know what I'm saying? You ain't even got to be right. You just got to have somebody take notice of you.
Real quick, Brian, can you answer me this then? Are you noticing that publications, like real newspapers, publications, are they straying away from?
They're fading.
But not fading away, but are they straying away from legitimate writing right now? And they actually are kind of going the whole blogging route and not fact checking. You're seeing people like the arms race to get the news first. They're going the wrong.
No. I think now I will say with news organizations, fact checking is always going to be, number first and foremost. You got to have that. But as far as, our news outlets going the blogging route, of course they are, because it's cheaper. You can get the same kind of work, and put out less money, because you understand that this particular writer is really doing this for exposure, and they feel privileged to even be writing for you. You know what I'm saying? So you ain't got to pay a salary for that. You're getting good quality work that's been fact checked, because the writer understands or the blogger understands that this is, part of the job and this is necessary. And, that person in turn gets to say, I write for X, Y, and Z.
Right.
It's an equal exchange. But as far as I will say this, as far as young writers, especially ones, going to school, obviously I write at the pro level. I write about the NBA. And, I for one, understand why, you don't see young writers in that, at that particular level of the game, simply because they still fans. You see guys 18, 20, or 22 years old, and, they're writing about LeBron James, and they like basketball. 9 times out of 10, that kid is a fan. You know what I'm saying? So it's really hard for them to get up there and be around their favorite basketball player that they've been watching on TV. Now they 6 inches from them and not be starstruck and awestruck. You know what I'm saying? So, you need to, somebody that's a little bit older, and like you said, Leon, a little bit seasoned, who understands what's going on when they come in with the job. And,
that don't get distracted by the titties.
Exactly. Oh, yeah, because, every now and then, that do sashay through the locker room.
Hey, man. Hey, BC, thank you for stopping by, man.
Yeah,
a friend of the show, man. You always
a contributor. Always.
Hey, real quick, just give me a one-word answer. How do you feel about Ben Affleck being the new Batman?
Dead.
I'm done. That's it, man. For my man BC, Brian Crawford from Slam Magazine, my man Big Mad, myself. That's another issue of Sports Unplugged in the tank. Remember, hit us up at Sports Unplugged. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Hit us up on Twitter at Big Mad, at Leon Rogers.
Brian, where you at?
Brian Crawford, BryanCraw 4D.
There it is, man. We see y'all next week, man. Sports Unplugged. We out.
Yep.
Go!